Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Classics for the Family. Now, we are finally getting to The Hunchback of Notre-Dame, a wonderful novel by Victor Hugo, and maybe I should tell you about my introduction to it. Now, I was born in 1992, so I was introduced to it via the Disney film in 1996. I don't really remember that much of it, and most of what I did remember of it came from one of those I don't want to say audiobooks because audiobooks don't really come with a book where you have to turn the page. But you get the idea. That's what I remember more than the movie, but I did eventually see the movie again. More than thanks to me having discovered the book on Wikipedia where, well, I discovered the ending. What ending is that? It's the... Do I dare give spoilers? What the heck? What the heck? It's a Victor Hugo novel. What are you gonna expect? Les Miserables, Jean Valjean dies. The Man Who Laughs, Gwynplaine dies. Hunchback of Notre-Dame. Two gravediggers find Quasimodo and Esmeralda's skeletons in an embrace. Yes, that is the ending. It's as tragic as it sounds, doesn't it? Okay, I had a bit of enough of making a mood killer of this back in high school, so wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit! Shoot! Okay, all DVDs are now and accounted for, but before that, we move on to the one graphic novel adaptation I own. Graphic Classics. Now... Oh, jeez. No, it's alright, just a false alarm. Just a false alarm. Now, this is very good. It doesn't really leave anything out. It's for kids, but at the same time it keeps the darkness of the original. Tragic ending included, so is there an age range on this? Unless your young relative is at least 10, 10 at the youngest, do not give it to them. Oh, jeez. I'm okay, just, bit out of breath. But now let's go on to the DVDs. Now, in 1923, Universal adapted The Hunchback of Notre-Dame and starred the man of a thousand faces himself, Lon Chaney Sr., as Quasimodo. It really is an epic an epic of those days, with an enormous cathedral set, some very impressive makeup on Lon Chaney's part. He did his own makeup, hence where he got his nickname, the Man of a Thousand Faces, and it actually comes straight from the novel itself. The entire look is actually from the description, the one eye, everything. But if there's one, okay, two complaints I have, it's turning Phoebus, who was something of a villain in the book, into a knight in shining armor. Yeah. So if you want to know where it all started, I have a good reason to believe it started here. Oh, and that's not all. For you see, in the book, there was not one Frollo, but there were two. Brothers, in fact. The elder being the Archdeacon, Claude Frollo, who, believe it or not, was actually only 36, but actually looked older. Oh geez, that actually makes the Disney film kind of confusing, doesn't it? He looks the same both in the flashback and in the present day. Is he meant to be 36, or is he meant to be 56? No way, that can't. Did he look that way ever since he was 20? Okay, I'm getting off track here. But anyway, Claude Frollo is by all means the antagonist, but he's by no means not without his sympathetic qualities. He does love Quasimodo, which is sadly something often left out. But he's really an anti-villain, and his younger brother Jean is more of a minor annoyance. He's coming to his brother for money, so yeah, minor annoyance. And unless to prevent any offense to religious groups, Claude isn't the villain in this. He's just there, just the Archdeacon, and Jean is actually the main villain of the piece. And if you want something odd to know, for some reason, the actor who plays Jean, who is supposed to be Claude's younger brother, was older than the actor who plays Claude. No, really, Braden Hurst was 57, while Nigel de Bruyne was 46. Wow. But anyway, let's, having Claude be good and Jean be the villain was later recreated in the 1939 film, which the Disney film is for all intents and purposes a remake of. Of course, I don't have that one, so we're not going to be covering that. Now let's skip ahead to 1982. This was a made-for-television movie. It featured Anthony Hopkins as Quasimodo and Derek Jacobi as Claude Frollo. It's very faithful to the novel. up until the ending. But how do I put this? Well, I'm sure Phoebus is still a villain. But Quasimodo dies, and Esmeralda escapes with the poet Pierre Gringoire, who in the novel she merely tolerated, but actually forms feelings for in this. It's really sad that the BBC miniseries never got its DVD release. I'd love to own that one. It's the most faithful screen adaptation in my opinion. Not that I was alive when it aired. It aired in 1977, but I have seen it on YouTube, and it is spectacular. Now we move on to 1986 with the first animated adaptation to actually predate the Disney film. Now this was done by Burbank Films Australia. It keeps the darkness of the original novel while keeping it acceptable for kids. And the only death in it is when the Claude Frollo, voiced by Ron Hadrick, who voiced many animated villain. You've got Quasimodo right there, which I can't help but feel the designers over at Disney felt a need to imitate the red hair, the green clothing, and furthermore on imitation by Disney. Instead of they attempting to hang Esmeralda, well, they eventually did in the book, but let's remember this is more of a happy ending scenario with this one. They attempt to burn her at the stake. What do I think of this? I love this. It's very good. The backgrounds are incredible. Burbank Films Australia's flaw might be that there's an inconsistency with the designs of the characters from production to production, which I will get to eventually, but no, wait, I have done a Burbank Films production before. Ivanhoe. It's kind of like this. If you want, if I ever get to Jekyll and Hyde, you'll be introduced to what? To an example. The character designs in this are pretty similar to the character designs in Ivanhoe, but we'll get to something a bit different eventually. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And now, the Disney film. Hold on. I'm leaving the ratings out. Don't see a rating on this. It says not rated, but silent films are more, adult, unless your young relatives are big readers. So yeah, and then go with that. This is rated PG, so obviously parental guidance is required. But remember, I'm Canadian, so it might not be PG down in America, and I have no idea what how the rating system works over in places like Britain. So this is very for the whole family. And what am I doing? I am not gonna cover this one up. It's okay. As I said, for all intents and purposes, it's a remake of the 1939 film. Tony J is phenomenal as Frollo, and I really like his performance. He was one of the best actors who ever voiced villains. And Kevin Kline as Phoebus is a really good choice. Sure, Phoebus isn't the villain he was in the book, but Kevin Kline has an impressive background. But of course, you all know how this movie is. It's good for the family. It's actually rated G in both America and Canada, if you're wondering. So, yeah, there you go. Now, last but not least, we have the series The Magical Adventures of Quasimodo. Now, in 1996, around the time the Disney film was showing, some Canadian company was working with an American company. I'm not gonna give names. And made that. It's indeed the lightest adaptation I know of, which the title should, well, it's a very loose adaptation. There's no death. Frollo doesn't really have any lustful feelings for Esmeralda. Phoebus is completely absent. Well, there's magic, but then again, the Disney film is, I don't know, are the gargoyles supposed to be imaginary or they're supposed to be real? I don't know, but the Magical Adventures of Quasimodo, they're a lot more consistent because, well, magic. You get the idea. Is it bad? As an adaptation of the book, yeah, it is, but as a source of entertainment, it's very good. The voice cast is all Canadian, which, being Canadian and being swamped with a large amount of American entertainment, I'm happy to see something Canadian, which makes me glad that I don't have to go all the way to Stratford just to have some Canadian-made entertainment, to see some Canadian talent, or wait every Thursday night to watch the Vikings. Now, I haven't really got anything else, but yeah, I highly recommend all these. If you don't think your kids or young relatives are ready for the Disney film Hunchback of Notre-Dame, there's always the Burbank Films production, and there's always the Magical Adventures of Quasimodo. Anyway, this is Brian Croydragon, signing off, whatever. And what will I do next week? Oh dear Lord, I have no idea what I'm gonna do next week. Leave a comment down below. But remember, if I've never read the book and don't have any of the adaptations, I can't do it. So I'll think of something.